Hello and welcome to the Broke But Not Broken podcast. This is episode W, and I am your host, DestoCat. I wanted to bring up some things I forgot to discuss in the last episode regarding my time volunteering with Anime NYC convention in New York. Um, this year, um, this past November was the fifth anniversary um of the convention. Nothing special about that, just the fact that it's their fifth year having the convention. Um Besides that, their biggest guest would I have to say is that came was from Japan is the author of Attack on Titan, uh Hajime Isayama. I might be butchering that. I'm not gonna look that up. Um You know, I think Attack on Titan is a really amazing anime. In fact, it's probably one of the only animes I'm currently in the mood to watch. As soon as that final season comes out, I am ready to watch. Whereas any other anime currently, I'm just not in the mood to watch. So that says a lot. I mean, I hold Attack on Titan really high up in terms of um just story, I guess. Everybody should watch Attack on Titan. It's a masterpiece. Um, Everyone says the ending is terrible. I have been so lucky, maybe, that I have no idea what's going to happen at the end. I stayed away from all spoilers. I'm, I have no clue what's going to happen. Everyone says very disappointing. Just let it be so, but every single bit of the story up until this point has been amazing. So even if the ending is terrible, I can let it go. But the thing is, like, I'm talking so much praise about this anime. I'm saying how much I love this anime, but I didn't care that the author was um coming. So I didn't even try to enter the lotteries to meet him, or I guess get an autograph or attend his special panel. I don't know. I thought it was a little bit of weird thing. Like who like yes, Attack on Titan is amazing, but like I don't care to meet the author. But like there's probably other shows where like I I guess it's just although I love Attack on Titan, it's not like I'm not a fan of it. Like I don't care. Yeah, I guess that's the point. That's probably the point, right? I could easily argue that animes that I'm more of a fan of are not as popular as Attack on Titan, but I would care more if the author was visiting. So yeah, I'm just realizing the obvious. Um I'm just not I just don't care enough about the author. Like I don't care enough about Attack on Titan to care about the author. That's just an obvious thing I'm realizing right now. Um, Hence why I don't have any Attack on Titan merchandise, no shirts, no posters, no pins. I have the manga, volume one. Um, that's about it. Yeah, so that was a silly little aside. And one more thing I want to talk about is it's not Anime NYC exclusive, but um, to avoid past issues of people lining up hours ahead of panels to be let in. That's the way it was for these conventions. You would just line up, and then once the panels opened up, it was first come, first serve until every seat was filled. Um, to circumvent that, they went ahead and just did this lottery system where everybody who was gonna get to go to the panel was already notified before the convention even started. So nobody had to line up and no one had to be turned away at the door because they already knew they wouldn't be allowed to get in. Now, I guess in the end, this is the fairest way because everybody gets a random chance. but a lot of people did complain that they'd rather just line up. I guess it's the argument of like you either if you have the lottery, you have no control of getting in. Where if you do the lineup, or pay money to get a ticket, for example, pretty much same thing. Um, you have a way of getting in for sure. Like you could guarantee your seat by lining up early, or you can guarantee your seat by buying that ticket. But if it's everything's on a free lottery, then you could never ever get the chance because it's just up to randomness. Um, so I see both sides. I personally hate uh the notion of camping, so I would never vote for the concept of everybody having to line up to get a seat. But an idea that I always think about is gonna be silly, but I think about like the U.S. government, specifically the legislative. I've been out of school for a minute in terms of history, so bear with me here. Or government, the legislative branch or whatever. They have the Congress and the House of Representatives, where like the Congress is like, okay, two people from every state. So every state has the equal two people representation, and then the House of Reps is like, okay, that's based on the sizes of the states. So now it's just like, okay, the states that have more people also have more people representing them, and then both of those together, the make up the legislative. So I think it's like in theory that's I mean I don't know, I think our government's not doing well according to what I hear, but that idea ideally sounds pretty cool. It's like the best of both worlds. So to connect that with the whole ticketing nonsense I've just been talking about, maybe like they should make like half of the tickets available to the random lottery, and the other half of the tickets could be for lineup or paid. That way, there's a set amount of tickets that anybody could get, um, yeah, because that way there's opportunity for all these different ways, for people to get tickets. Like if there's only 200 seats, make 100 of them random lottery, and the other 100 you line up. So that way the people who would be willing to line up hours in advance, they can get their way, and the people who get lucky with their lottery, they can get their way. I think it's a really good idea. Um, if anyone wants to fight me back on that, I'd love to hear comments, criticism on that. All right, so let's get away from AnimeNYC because that's from last time too. Um, so oof, I was like 10 minutes on that. Crazy. Um, if you watch Parks and Recreation, there's a character. I think his name is Ben in the show. Whatever. He's played by Adam Scott, and Adam Scott, uh, he's starring in this new show on Apple TV called Severance. Um, really good show. I'm waiting for season two, which is gonna take a bit because season one just ended. Um, it's basically about a group of people who are working at this company called Lumen. And in order to work at Lumen, during your 9 to 5 at Lumen, you can't bring any information in or bring any information out. So these people who work at Lumen, they have to have their brain altered through surgery through something called they become severed people. So in other words, once it hits 9 p.m. and they enter the Lumen building, their brain is like surgeried, um, so that and wired so that it's a different person, it's a different version of themselves who's doing that 9 to 5, and then a different version of themselves who's working outside the 9 to 5. So once they leave that building at 5 p.m., it's kind of like they're different. They don't remember anything that happened at work. It's kind of like two people living one body, basically, right? And now, like with these shows, both halves start getting curious about their other life, um, because as far as they're concerned, they're two different people because they don't know anything about their other self. But because it's their body, they start wondering like what based on some things they've been seeing, is wait, is my other half okay? So now they're digging in, and of course, because um the the company makes you do the surgery, so it has to be top secret stuff. There's outside forces trying to stop them, and there's inside forces trying to get to the secret. And everything's piecing away slowly. The characters slowly getting their backstories. Um, and we're starting to find out about missing characters, um, relationship to the company, people. Yeah, it's like the people who work at the part of the parts of the people who live in the work at the company. They all they do is work. Um, so once like they leave on Friday at 5 p.m., their next moment in life is that Monday at 9 a.m. They have nothing in between that. Um, and they're starting to question like the people on the inside of the job, what they call them innies. They're starting to wonder what are they even doing at this job? Like, what is their purpose? And then the people on the, I guess the real world, I'll say, like outside of work, they call them outies, obviously based on what I just said. They're starting to wonder if their inside version, their innies are if they're doing okay. So things are chipping away. It's really good show. So check out Severance. It's one of the shows I watched this year that I would recommend, like, for sure to watch. Severance. Pokemon is ending in a way. Um, I stopped watching the anime a long time ago. I stopped playing the games a few years ago. Uh, I still like the idea in the franchise of Pokemon, but I don't really care for the media of it anymore. Although I did find it my surprise that they're finally ending Pokemon, but more specifically, the main character Ash, who has been with the show since like I was born, is being replaced with new main characters for like the first time, um, which I think is crazy. I think it's crazy because of nostalgia. That's it. Um, so yeah, now that it's kind of like a benchmark for like Pokemon that I knew, which is like I feel more inclined to go back and now watch all the episodes, which is there's a lot, but at least now I have like an end in sight. Um, and I would like to maybe do that as a completionist, and then maybe I'll be inspired to play the games again because I miss the games. It's just like um the past few renditions of the video games have been just it's making me lose interest. But I think one reason why I lost interest in the Pokemon games is because the newer games reflect the newer show seasons, and because I don't watch the newer show seasons, I don't have a real like I don't have that connection between the games and the show. Whereas the older Pokemon games, when I watch the show, I'm like, oh, there's that Pokemon that I saw on TV. Where all these new Pokemon, the newer games, I have no idea who they are, so I have no like connection to them. That's probably one reason why I fell out of the games, and also because like most video games, they've been making the games easier. Because at the end of the day, Pokemon is a children's franchise. Um, that's just a realization people got to make if they want to keep complaining about the difficulty of the game. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna revisit Pokemon and watch it from the start all the way up to the upcoming end in January of Ash's adventure. Um, I was watching. Sometimes I get stuck in a loop at night, a dangerous loop that probably all of us do in 2022 and in the future. Is getting yourself tied down to watching Instagram Reels or TikToks or YouTube Shorts, and like you think a couple of minutes passed, but like half an hour passes, an hour passed. And it's kind of like very one of the worst feelings least to me, of feeling like you just wasted your time. Um, Sometimes I get stuck in that YouTube Shorts loop. I don't have personally TikTok downloaded because I feel like if I did, it would even be worse for me, or maybe be exactly the same. Because sometimes I get stuck on those YouTube Shorts for 30 minutes, an hour, and I hate myself for that. Um, every other time, more or less. Anyways, I was watching this random YouTube short, and they're saying these random like facts, like life facts, and then or like, and then one of them really like hit me emotionally. Um, uh, I still think about it like every like week or something. And it's basically that it was just this. At some point, your parents picked you up, put you down, and never picked you up again, right? And that hit me really deep. I got really emotional after hearing that because like I was like, it's basically the point. I mean, obviously, if you don't get it from what I just said, it's just like one day you'll be too old for them to like pick you up, and you're just gonna get older and older, and nothing's gonna change. So I got emotional thinking about my parents. I got emotional thinking about my own aging, and I was trying to not have an existential crisis, um, but I tried to, but I couldn't think about my emotional vulnerability. So, um, yeah, that's stung me a lot. It's probably something most people have seen, or not a decent amount of people have seen or heard. If they're on the internet a lot, I haven't seen it till recently, and I got that little fact. I don't know, it hit me hard. What do we got left here? Okay, okay, this is kind of perfect. To end here on just two notes. The Walking Dead. I think I might have mentioned this before, but if I didn't, I'm gonna make this short anyways. The Walking Dead, at least the main show, has just ended this year. It's been quite of a long ride. I eventually I dropped the show at one point, but just like wrestling, I picked it back up during COVID, and I've been watching the final season, which just recently finished, and yeah, it's good. I mean, I enjoyed the whole ride. Um, the ending didn't really like um answer all the questions, because they're like making 4 or 5 different spin-offs. Like I'm not even being exaggerating. They're making like four to five different spin-offs, each about like different characters, um, to I guess expand the universe. But I don't know if I'm gonna care enough to watch those just because like that sounds kind of exhausting. So yeah, Walking Dead was a really fun ride. I'm a sucker for apocalypse, zombie survival stuff. Um, like that's one of my it's one of the things I'm a sucker for. I love that stuff. And I recently, I think just 2 days ago, this week, I finished the last season of Atlanta. Um, it's great. Atlanta's is a great show. Just like Reservation Dogs I talked about the other day. Um, about a group of friends in Atlanta going through different hijinks and stuff, and except instead, but they're like one is a rapper. They're trying to make it. They're trying like the original premise is like one them is trying to make it as a rapper, and the rest of like their friends who are like going along with the dude to uh because he gets more popular and popular, so they go on they get to go on more extravagant adventures and concert venues and stuff. But then it slowly starts becoming like more of a slice of life and like out of this world stuff. I'm describing it really bad, just because it's like one of those shows where like it doesn't have like a real plot, but like it's like has some chronologicalness to it. So yeah, check out Atlanta. It's really good. It's finished now. All 4 seasons are done. There's no more seasons, so you can watch a complete show. That show's on Hulu, but sail the 7 season. Just watch somewhere else if you don't have Hulu. And yeah, I think I've talked about every single show that I've watched up to this point. So I'm looking at my notes, and it looks like, in terms of general things, um, I am caught up with everything and anything. So next time I can start talking about the big stuff that's been happening in my life recently. And that's two things. It's a little teaser. One, I'm ready to start talking about my student teaching experience. And two, I recently, this month, beginning of this month, December, I moved. And yeah, that's all for today. So thank you for listening. Glad we're all caught up now. It only took 4 episodes, but it helped me provide 4 episodes. So back to back to back to back. So that was good for my goal of getting to Z by January 1st, which is still doable. I got a day, 2 days if you count January 1st itself. So yeah, backtrack. Thank you for listening and have a good day.